So this is kind of going to be like my go-to. So I'm going to buy a whole bunch of these and just dye them every single color so that I have colored wigs and I'm not buying some expensive human hair wig just to wear, just to dye and then wear for 2 weeks. So with the specs of this hair, it is a 30-inch wig. I don't show it in the video, but I take it to about a 26. It's got 3 combs, as most wigs do, and so for the closure, it's a bit of a, I don't know what's going on with the closure, but it's a bit funky. So, like, it's pink, first of all, like, my scalp is not pink. So, I realized there was, like, padding in the closure. I don't know, just take a listen. So there was, like, some weird rustling noise in it, but that's about how long it looks for me and how thick. What you're going to need is one of these razor blade things and a brush. Here I'm just showing you how the tracks look. So what you'll do is you'll section the hair. I sectioned it into 3 parts. You are going to need to pin the hair down too because
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I dye my synthetic wig into this. I can't commit to a color. You can hear, just I know I'm going to like it. So stay tuned. First, I'm going to go ahead and boil water. Get the water extra hot and then pour it inside the base of my hat. Use some the hair in. Use a good amount of water, not too much, so you don't dilute the fabric dye too much. I'm going to be using 2 different colors of fabric dye. I'll leave the names of the colors that I use below. Initially, I only poured half of the bottle in, but later on, you'll see me, I'll end up pouring a bigger bottle. I wanted the glue to stand out a little more. So initially, I am just testing to make sure that the color is going to take. And then make sure you submerge the whole wig inside the basin. I made a mistake of popping in there. That water is the one that's not going to realize, so then I use a plastic bag to which I didn't open it there. Caution, I also sprayed the lace. I actually sprayed first just to protect the lace a little bit. Which in the end, I don't really think I really did not for this hair color because it's not as blue. But if you're going for a darker color, I would definitely suggest to spray the lace with hairspray so it can protect it and not dye the lace as much. Unless you're being more practical with color placement. Okay? After letting it soak for a few minutes, and then soak it in cold water to kind of hold the dye in place, and then I'll write it out. Eating cold. After rinsing the hair out, I went ahead and added conditioner into the water, which I'm going to just put the whole wig inside. Although this is synthetic hair, it's still going to be soft. I'm going to shampoo the hair, which is going to make it on dry and conditioner. After letting it soak for a few minutes, I then soaked it in cold water to kind of hold the dye in place, and then I'll write it out. Eating cold. After rinsing the hair out, I went ahead and added conditioner into the water, which I'm going to just put the whole wig inside. Although this is synthetic hair, it's still going to be soft. I'm going to shampoo the hair, which is going to make it on dry and conditioner to add a little bit of smoothness back to the hair and still make the hair soft. of the conditioner, I just plopped it on the wig stand and let it air dry.
And then let somebody open up your mouth.
In this video, we will show you the best human hair wigs that our experts suggest. On this channel, we give a random shout out for our subscribers. If you want to get mentioned in our next video, you should subscribe now and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on our new videos. Shout out to Chimayo Shop Collections and Monica Eve. We appreciate your support. In this video, we will show you the best human hair wigs that our experts suggest. On this channel, we give a random shout out for our subscribers. If you want to get mentioned in our next video, you should subscribe now and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on our new videos. Shout out to Chimayo Shop Collections and Monica Eve. We appreciate your support. We made this list based on research, quality, and customer reviews. If you want more information and updated pricing on the products mentioned in this video, be sure to click the links in the description box below. So, here are the top 5 best human hair wigs. Number 1, Pizzazz Black Wave Lace Front Wig. Are you looking for pure black human wigs? Pizzazz is a remarkable brand which has been manufacturing human hair wigs for a long time. Pizzazz has also enabled trust to the people who love to use wigs. Always try to buy wigs from good brands. Do you love to dye and bleach your hair? If yes, then the great thing is you can dye and bleach on these wigs. It is going to be an extra advantage of this wig. This is made with premium quality material, so you can wear it for a long time without any irritation. Air can adequately pass through your scalp, which will help to keep your scalp healthy. Are you tense about the size? It is medium in size and has an adjustable system. You will get 4 combs, including with the wigs. The wigs are very easy to wear and adjust. You can also remove it quickly. The pros are it is easily adjustable. It is also easy to wear, not so difficult to remove, lasts for long, and no allergic problem. The cons are only suitable for curly hair lovers. Why do we recommend it? Different people have different choices. We mainly recommend it for its longevity, awesome color, and especially for the amazing adjust feature. Number 2, Jessica Hair Curly Short Bob Wigs. Jessica's Hair is another highly premium brand from you. They manufacture different types of hair beauty products, including wigs. Among lots of wigs, we selected the Short Bob Wig for You, which performs well and lasts for a long time. Do you like or have?
Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. Make a plan to get to the polls and cast your ballot. This election is going to be a close one. Your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power.
The once lived four mischievous monsters. They could never be caught until trick or treat with Happy Meal food buckets.
With gorgeous straight human hair wigs. This is a chemical-free, unprocessed Brazilian human hair-made wig, which is one of the best quality products in the market. It has 13 by 4-inch lace on the top. The whole wig is highly breathable and comfortable. Air can properly blow into it, which is good for scalp health. Weight is meager and height is perfect. It is very much durable and reusable. The pros are, it is reusable. It is also breathable. It has less weight, no tangle, and no sheds. The cons are, the price is a little bit high. Why do we recommend it? If you want a pure black, natural colored straight wig, it is the right choice. On the other hand, it is unprocessed with any chemicals. Number 4, Fuduete Tea, hard lace, pre-plucked wigs. Are you an adult and looking for adult human hair natural black curly wigs? Fudete brand exclusively made this pre-plucked wig, which is soft and smooth. The hair used here is pure Brazilian virgin human hair that looks so silky. The cap is highly breathable and easily adjustable. You do not have to worry about the health of your scalp, even if you wear it for a long time. It's comfortable and suitable for anyone because the adjustment system is sound. The pros are, it is made with unprocessed hair, no chemical used. It is soft and bouncy. It's breathable and washable. The cons are, it's not for teenagers. Why do we recommend it? As it is highly breathable, so there will be no health or allergic issue. You can also wash it easily without any damage. Number 5, Hao Shang Body Wave Human Hair High Density Wigs. Do you like large body wave style wigs? This high density wig has a gorgeous body wave shape with a silky look as it is made from virgin human hair. So it looks fantastic. It is unprocessed. That means no chemical is used at processing time. Are you tense about tangling? It is normal to get tense about tangles for this wig because it is large and the density is higher than any other wig. Don't
Hey guys, this is my phone. I have to localize our local store. Y'all just look at the knots on the sleeve, look at the hairline, proportions to the scalp already. So big for 3 details on this wig. This is a 13 by 6 by 13 by 4, 24-inch wide wig, 180 wig, super quick. You got length 24 inches, and you got waist 13 by 6. And right now it's going to be at $95. I personally feel like $11, but right now it's $18 cheaper. We've been like that for a while. I'm checking it now. It's still only $95. So all I'm doing here is cutting off the extra waist on the sides and making it fit my head. And also so I can just get the waist spread out as far as the waist clean. So here you go. That's a perfect fit. It's just this. And I'm going to cut off the details, which is what I'm doing here. Do this and influences into the other side. Cutting the tabs. So now I'm just cutting my baby hairs, digging out my face. How bone this hair is. This hair is so full and fluffy and it's shiny and soft. Like, for this to be an Amazon wig, this is a quality wig. If you want to see it, I mean, this wig is the big one. And this wig is a ooh! Wow, look at the hairline. Like, y'all. This is not an HD wig. This is an Amazon wig. Look at the hairline. Big ears. Big ears. So first we're just cutting off the excess waste. I'm trying to make sure I do it. And I'm just doing what I do and what I know. This part is the most annoying to cut off the waste. And of course, after you cut this off, you don't have to spray the because I use lace glue. I just use a piece of spray. So sometimes it does look a little during this part, but it's okay to just spray glue. And before I do spray my lace, I go ahead and fix my baby hairs and baby how I want. And then once I have my baby hairs, I spray the lace and put my lace. Also, you don't have to really spray part either. Honestly, if you're going to do something like glistening edges or something that's water based, then throwing it is kind of pointless because the color will fall out of the water. But I think I just use lace spray, so that's why I prefer when I'm doing my shade. It makes it easier to lay out. I just have to let it look, smooth so I just spray it. So that's why I pause for leave hands to straight back out because it smells like water in the mouth. I love videos. I really love videos. It's just so fun. So it just feels. Do y'all be watching videos and from the job, bad ones on TikTok? That's the reason I saw like it just feels. It feels. I definitely got that. I've been watching all her videos. I just can't wait for you. Off in the background, and I didn't even know that the thought that I did for you. It smells like a it's not me. Look at this race. The right thing for me to do is look, even I'm gonna figure out how to do it. Now, for this week, I need $100, less than $100, and to look like this. Why y'all not going to get this wig? This is y'all gonna do. It took the style for $120. And it's gonna be long, bold. This wig is just too much to me. My hair line is like explaining all that stuff. After I cut off the lace, I be leaking myself a little bit. So, you already know, that's for the front. Yeah, so like I said, I lay my edges first, and then I put the big back on after cutting the lace. So I just lifted it one time, you know? Look smart in the heart. I'm screaming over here, like, girl, I was in this like, oh, you know, why do you keep choosing it? We're trying to get to this one, and this girl, we're trying to get it. You gotta do it, you know, when you're on vacation, wise. That's what this video is. So, I'm gonna go on vacation and say, I'm gonna leave. This is a really cool video. With this really cool, with the function, the cool work you know, the birthday, this is really cool. I want you to believe, come back to my video and follow the tutorial, and literally, it's gonna be a stop, y'all. That's gonna be a really nice vacation. Mm-hmm.
This burger is your profit, but each feed you get is worth less than a penny. So you need lots. How do you get?
That person is not me. Look at this race. The right thing for me to do is look, even I'm gonna figure out how to do it. Now, for this week, I need $100, less than $100, and to look like this. Why y'all not going to get this wig? This is y'all gonna do. It took the style for $120, and it's gonna be long, bold. This wig is just too much to me. My hair line is like explaining all that stuff. After I cut off the lace, I be leaking myself a little bit. So, you already know, that's for the front. Yeah, so like I said, I lay my edges first, and then I put the big back on after cutting the lace. So I just lifted it one time, you know? Look smart in the heart. I'm screaming over here, like, girl, I was just like, that. You know, why do you keep choosing it? We're trying to get to this one, and this girl, we're trying to get it. You gotta do it, you know, beach, sun, vacation, wise. That's what this really is. So, I'm gonna go on vacation with somebody I really live. This is a really cool video. Yeah. This is really cool with the function, the cool work you doing. The birthday, this is really cool. And if you get the mood, come back to my video and follow the tutorial, and literally it's gonna be a stop. Like, that's gonna be a really nice vacation. Mm-hmm. Y'all know me, I always cut on my waist because I just like my ends to look clean. I feel like a lot of times ends are really just good.
You want God to restore what you lost. God says, I want to restore what you never even knew you had. I want to restore the confidence you had never even knew you had. You have gifts and talents that you never even.
Scripture is John 14, verse 8. When God first gave me this text, whenever I'm studying or preparing for a message, I maybe just start praying and I'm like, God, help me to see this season, this time, this day and age the way that you see it, so that I can add to what you're doing in that earth. And God gave me this text on Tuesday night. And I felt like, okay, this is great because it's going to give me time to kind of spread out my studying and spread out my responsibilities. And then Tuesday morning at 2 a.m., my daughter woke up. She was vomiting every single hour, on the hour, up until 10 a.m. She had a fever that was all day Tuesday and Wednesday. She was sick. And then just thing after thing happened. And then I started feeling sick myself yesterday. And I was like, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to take my time because I believe that whatever God is doing in this message, whatever God's given me, I believe that there's breakthrough connected to it. And I believe that what I was experiencing was warfare. And so I'm going to ask those of you who are intercessors to just pray over me as I try to communicate what it is that God gave me, because I believe that if I can get low enough, that God's going to do something supernatural in this space. So I'm calling in some help in the spirit realm from some of those who know how to get a prayer through. My subject is shift the weight. Shift the weight. I'm reading from the New King James Version. Context is that Jesus is going to the cross. He's gathered the disciples. He's washed their feet. They've had the Last Supper. And then he begins to tell them some crazy stuff. That he's going to be crucified, that he's going to die, that Peter's going to deny him, that this band, this unit, this solidarity that they have experienced over the last 3 years is going to fall apart. And he's trying to convince them that even as this is happening, that God is still in it. And the disciples are trying to wrap their mind around how could it be that we've gone from town to town preaching and the multitudes have been with us and we've seen miracles and breakthrough. It seemed like we were on our way into ascension, and now you're telling me that everything is going to fall apart. When we enter into the text, Jesus is laser focused on what's next for him, and the disciples are trying to catch up. And verse 8 begins, it says, Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and it is sufficient for us. If I could just see God in the midst of this, everything that you're saying, it'll be okay, but if I could just see God. And Jesus says to him, have I been with you so long, and yet you have not known me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, show us the Father? And verse 10 continues, it says, do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does the works. These aren't just words, my words do work. I haven't just been speaking. The reason why what I speak becomes what happens is because my word has backup. These are not just my words, these are his words. Believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me. But if you can't believe that, the least you could do is believe the work themselves, because you've seen too much. You've seen too much to question whether or not God is in it. If you could just believe the work that you've seen, so most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me, The works that I do, he will do also. Oh God, I should help me. It's one thing for you to believe in the works, but if you believe in me, just believe in me, not just the works. You see, some of us believe in the work more than we believe in God. And now we need another work in order to increase our faith. But if you would just believe in me, you'll go from looking for works to doing greater works. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. I want to talk from the subject, shift the weight. God, I need you. Lord, you know what I got? You know what I don't have. So I'm shifting this weight over you. I'm saying, have your way, great God, that you are. This is not my church. This was not my call. This was not my need. This started with you. And so, God, I pray that you would take up space in this room. That you would take up space wherever they're watching online, in their car, in their work, in their homes, in their kitchens. God, you take up space. And let it be undeniable that you see us, that you hear us, that you have a plan for this season of our lives. And may our response be obedience. May our response be conviction. May we not just hear the word, but to be doers of the word. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I'm a little bit, I hope. In 1903, the Wright brothers invented the first powered plane. Many of you all know this already because we learned it when we are in grade school. And they talk about this incredible invention because up until then, there were glider planes. These were planes that weren't powered by engines. They were powered by aerodynamics and taking off from heights, and they would use the air in order to just glide in the air. But engineers were on a mission to figure out, how do we make planes fly powered by some type of mechanism that is attached to it? And the Wright brothers ended up finding a way to take a piston engine. This is an engine that is connected to propellers. And these propellers are able to take the air and then allow that energy to be channeled into power. And in 1903, this revolutionary invention changed the landscape of how we do travel. These propeller planes would be used not just in transporting goods. It would become a source of a tool used for military aircrafts. It would become even commercial planes. We're all using this technology that allowed for you to take propeller engines and have this powered engine plane. And as cool as it was that they had this new invention that would allow you to get things transported more quickly, as cool as it was that they had this device that would allow you to oversee military operations, there were still some limitations. And engineers began to recognize that some of the limitations connected with these propeller planes was that they couldn't go very fast. They couldn't travel very long distances. They couldn't go very high. And so while it was very cool that it existed, there was still an element of work that needed to be done in order for them to get a type of machine that would allow for the breakthrough that they wanted to see happen in different fields and industries at that time. They needed to come up with a plane that would allow you to soar higher, to get above weather systems. They needed to come up with a plane that would allow you to go longer distances. And so they began to figure out, how do I go higher? How do I go longer without losing the ability to fly? Because part of the reason why they were able to figure out how to get the plane in the air is that there was this balance between weight and efficiency that allowed for them to have takeoff. And the issue with wanting to go higher and faster and longer distance is that it would require the plane to be heavier. They needed a bigger engine. They needed bigger fuels. They needed a plane that could withstand the elements of going higher. And so they were trying to figure out, how do I add more weight and still go higher? The weight was non-negotiable, because in order to go higher, they had to add this weight. And as I was studying about this aerodynamics, I recognized that in order for them to go higher, they had to have more weight. You could not have height without having weight. You had to be willing to withstand the reality that things were going to get heavier in order for them to go higher. The job of the engineer was to figure out, how do I take this additional weight and still soar? God's going to help you. And God was trying to show me and help me to see that all weight is not bad. Sometimes we get so burdened down with the weight that we're carrying that we begin to believe that there is no way that I could soar with this much heaviness on me. But science showed me that sometimes the only reason you can soar higher than other people is because you have more weight to work with than some of those other people you're comparing yourself to. I wish I could say that better. I want to talk to somebody who's had some weight put on them, and you're wondering, how could I ever soar with this much weight on me? And I'm here to tell you that it is not your job to figure out how you can soar. That God says, if you would allow me to put that weight on you, I'll also show you how to take that weight to new heights. I'll show you how to take that weight and do something that no one in your family has ever done. All weight ain't bad weight. Some weight is meant to work for you. You want to break the generational curse. You want to be the first one to do something in your family. Well, you better get ready to have some weight put on you. Because in order for you to go higher, you got to be like an airplane. You got to have a bigger engine. You got to be stronger. You got to be able to carry more fuel, because you got to be heavy for the height that God is calling you to. You got to be heavy to withstand the elements for where God is taking you to. You got to be heavy to be able to run up on the devils that have your name on it. You can't do it and be a lightweight. You got to do it because you're heavy. I'm heavy enough to go up against this thing. If I can survive that, then I can survive this, because I got weight on me. I didn't just go through hell. I went through weightlifting, baby. I didn't just go through a breakup. I went through weightlifting, baby. He's been training me. He's been putting weight on me.
Election alert. Election day is on November 5th. Who you vote for is private, but if you vote is public information. After this election, your voting record will be updated, and your friends and family will be able to look up how often you vote. So vote on or by Tuesday, November 5th.
Discover doubles your cash back at the end of your first year. So I want another double shot.
You are in rematch.
Let's face it, feeding time has not been that great for babies with cow milk allergy. Babies deserve a better tasting hypoallergenic EHF formula. Babies deserve Pepticate. Tastes like relief.
Sounds good.
Please have a rum and Diet Coke. That's good.
The greater the altitude, the longer the distance, the heavier the weight. Have you ever been at an airplane, at an airport? And you can tell which planes are regional planes because they're small. But then every now and then you see them double-decker planes. And you can tell that that's not a plane you take from Dallas to Houston. That big heavy plane is a plane that you take halfway across the world. I can tell by the level of weight that I see that this is not just something that God is putting on me to go a short distance. I want to talk to somebody who got some heavy weight on them. And you've been trying to figure out, God, where are you in the midst of this heaviness? I want to talk to somebody who's been feeling like, God, I can't go any lower than this. I got the weight of the world on my shoulders. God says, I know it feels heavy right now, but when I get finished walking this thing out with you, when I get finished working this thing out with you, I'm going to show you that you needed that weight to go the distance. You got somewhere to go. You've got work to do. You've got a call. You've got a mandate. You've got a mission. And God's not going to put you in it and then you run out of gas. So I'm teaching you right now before you lift off how to manage the weight so you have the endurance you need when you're in the air. We won't crash out. Nudge your neighbor, say, I won't crash out. I won't crash out. I've been lifted for this. I've been training for this. I've been praying for this. I've been worshiping for this. I went through too much heartbreak to crash out. I went through too much pain to crash out. I went through too much depression to crash out. God stopped the gun from working. I shouldn't even be here. But for some reason, them suicidal thoughts had to leave me alone because I had the greater the height, the greater the weight. The greater the height, the greater the weight. Oh. If I didn't say nothing else and you just took that to your prayer closet, I feel like God could do something with that. This isn't a concept that is exclusive to aerodynamics. We see this play out culturally. We see it when professionals are climbing the corporate ladder. And the higher they climb on the ladder, the more responsibility they have. We see this with entrepreneurs. You think it's hard to start a business, and it is. You know what's really hard? Having a successful business. Because the greater the height, the more responsibility. Uncle Sam talks crazy to you. The greater the height, the more responsibility. You get all entangled with laws and policies you didn't even know existed. The greater the height, the greater the responsibility. This happens professionally. This happens in entrepreneurship. This even happens for first-time college students. First-generation college students. If they are able to actually graduate from college, the greater the height, the greater the weight. Because they're not just responsible for themselves as first-generation college students, they have a whole community that they left behind. And while some people have the luxury of being able to establish generational wealth, some people who are first-generation successes, first-generation college students, are not able to build wealth at the same rate as their counterparts because they have a responsibility to take care of those who are still stuck in the systemic policies that sustain a racial wealth gap. So there is no question as to why those in especially African-American and Latino communities struggle more than others because they have more weight on them. Yes, I got a little bit higher, but I had more weight on me. Yes, I would have been able to save more, but I had more weight on me. We have to recognize that for disadvantaged communities, the greater the height, the greater the weight. Luke 12 says it like this: to whom much is given, much is required. The more that I give you, the more that I expect from you. And so often we see the heights that people are called to, but we don't always see the weight connected to that height. And when you don't see the weight connected to that height, You will be jealous of the wind in their face, but you won't recognize the weight of their wings. I can't even feel the wind in my face because there's so much weight on my wings. I wish I could tell you that it's smooth sailing up here, but it's actually very shaky because this weight is trying to stay in a dimension that I don't always know that I'm built for. There's so much weight on me up here that it doesn't even feel like success. There's so much weight on me on here. That a wind doesn't always feel like a wind. And like she says, give me a double portion of the anointing. And he got a double portion, but he also got double trouble. Because if I give you a double portion, it's not so that you can save up on the anointing. If I give you a double portion, then I got to send you into spaces that have so much trouble that it makes a demand on the double portion that I gave you. Gideon is down in a wine press, and God calls him up. But then he puts the weight of the nation on his shoulders. Because the greater the height, the greater the weight. I know there had to be moments where David had to have wished, maybe I was better off in the field. I was anointed king, but now I'm living in exile. I got a target on my back. I don't have any friends. Maybe my talent would have been better used among sheep. Because now that people know who I am, they're afraid of who I am. The greater the height, the greater the weight. And you want to know why celebrities are drugging themselves and trying to kill themselves? Because the greater the height, the greater the weight. Now I'm responsible for things I didn't even know to be responsible for. The greater the height. The greater the weight. There are some things that you wouldn't even be able to handle unless God had given you the capacity. Oh, God, help me. There are some things that you are only qualified to deal with because God knows what he gave you. I wish I could say that better. Have you ever seen somebody go through something and thought to yourself, couldn't be me? You're right. Because God didn't give you their capacity to do it. There are some things that you can only do because God gave you the capacity to do it. And you want to know if somebody else could do it, but you can't ask someone else to do what God gave you the capacity to do. I wish I could say that better. There are some people who maybe couldn't raise a special needs child. You couldn't go through what you've gone through in your marriage. You couldn't be in the workplace dealing with those politics. And you think that everyone else should be able to do the things that you do because you don't realize that the only reason you can do them is because God gave you capacity that he did not give someone else. So stop expecting someone else to have the capacity that God gave you and start thanking God that he gave you the capacity to do something that someone else couldn't handle it. Someone else would have lost their mind. Someone else would have quit. Someone else would have walked out of the door. Someone else would have burned the house down. Who could forgive after what they did to you? You don't have the capacity to forgive the way that I forgave, but God gave me the grace to do it. Someone else couldn't lead this thing, but God gave me the capacity to do it.
Election season is here. Remember, who you vote for is secret, but whether you vote is public information. After this election, your voting record will be updated, and your friends and family will be able to look up how often you vote. So vote on or by Tuesday, November 5th.
This is Michelle, who gives you a shot. Rebecca is there when you feel not so hot. This is Larissa, who's feeling blown up. And this here is Winnie, shushed up their cup. This is Victoria, helping women stay healthy. These are your kids, Megan's next meet with Betty. And Maddie can help you find your new favorite color. And Kyle helps Ryan Messer understand drama. Whoever you are, wherever, whenever. At CBS, healthier happens together.
He graced me for this. He gave me capacity for this. And he's making a demand on what he gave me. Yeah. That's why nobody else can do it but you. Because he gave you the capacity to do it. That's why you can stand up and do it. And everyone else would have fallen out. That's why David could be in the cave. God gave him the capacity to do it. I'm anointed, but I'm in a cave. I'm anointed, but I'm undercover. It's not because I'm not anointed. It's because I have the capacity to be anointed and not seen. I have the capacity to be anointed and not need an audience. I have the capacity to encourage myself in the Lord. I have the capacity. He gave me the grace for this. Can't nobody raise that child but you. Can't nobody fix that business for you. He gave you the capacity to do it. Something happens when you begin to recognize that your distinction is a reality because of what God gave you. And you stop asking people to do what God gifted you with the ability to do. I wish I could say that real good. But I hear God saying that if you don't stop expecting them to carry what you have, then you won't make the most out of what God gave you. Oh, I wish I could say this real good, y'all. When you recognize that God is giving you a wisdom, an insight, a creativity, ability, a vision that only you can fully wrap your mind around, you will stop trying to get other people to join in and be as passionate. That's it. You want other people to be as passionate about something that God gave you. But God says if they were passionate about it, I would have gave it to them. I gave it to you because I got a height that only you can go to. So I put the weight of it on you because I know that you'll take that away. You'll lay it at my feet and me and you together can take that thing to another level. They can't do it. Only you can do it. I feel that prophetically. I don't know who you are, but I hear God saying that they can't do it. Only you can do it. You can only do it because you are the only one who sees it the way that God sees it. And it's heavy on your heart the way that it's heavy on God's heart. Did you hear that? It's heavy on your heart in the same way that it's heavy on God's heart. The greater the height, the greater the weight. And if you don't let this thing be heavy, the way that it is on God's heart, then you won't do what is necessary to partner with God to bring breakthrough. There are some moments where we recognize that we were built to carry a weight that no one else could carry with us. Thinking about single mothers. Thinking about dealing with a disease. Thinking about the pain and the brokenness that we have to navigate in this thing called life. This heaviness that for some reason, God says, I know you don't necessarily want to carry this way. And someone else may not be able to handle it. But I've made it possible for you to handle this weight. If you trust me, if you lean into me, if you stop trying to split the responsibility with somebody else, I'm going to show you that we can carry this weight together. And when you realize that God's giving you this weight to carry, I hear God saying that it's going to change your paradigm. I hear God saying it's going to change your mission. I hear God saying that it's going to change this idea that God didn't give you something to work with. Oh, Jesus. God says, I gave you something. Capacity for survival, for courage, for resilience, for perseverance, for tenacity. Somebody else would have stayed in prison. Somebody else would have been in jail, but I gave you capacity that I didn't give anyone else. And when you lean into that, it's going to change things. There are moments when we realize that this weight, this life, this existence, maybe it would break somebody else. But God gave me the capacity to stand up in it. God gave me the capacity to do it. There were moments where I didn't think I could do it myself, but God gave me the capacity to do it. But before we go, I want to talk about the moments when God gives you a weight that feels too heavy for you to carry. This is heavy. Oh, I don't know if you've ever had God give you something that felt too heavy for you to carry. I want to be very specific about the weight that occurs in our spiritual development. This is why I think a lot of people end up not being Christians. We're like Christian adjacent, but not like really walking with the Lord. Because part of the process of spiritual development is the higher you go, the heavier you become. And for some reason, no matter how many times we tell people that walking with the Lord is not a cakewalk, that walking with Jesus is not vacation, when you actually step into it, for some reason they act like, no, I thought you meant like, I didn't know that you had meant like every devil in hell was going to break. I didn't know. I don't care how many times. And then, you can call us prosperity. No. We be trying to tell people. People don't be trying to listen to us. Because the closer I get to God, the more that the Lord develops me, the more I recognize how far I am from Him. Have you ever been heavy just looking at where I am compared to where I'm supposed to be? That the level of brokenness, the level of trauma, the level of manipulation that has become my norm is so off base from who I am supposed to be in God that I have no choice just to be heavy.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
Your broken key holder? Our Gorilla Super Glue No Grip Gel. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
information of you and not as well as
Or when you start to see the fractures in your community, when you begin to see the impact of generational curses, the toxicity that exists within our families. It was fine when everything was normal, but the moment I started pursuing health, the moment that I wanted to actually be made in the image of God, my heart is breaking for the friendships that no longer make sense anymore. My heart is breaking for the way that I can't fit in with my family anymore. My heart is breaking. The closer I get to God, the happier I become, because I didn't realize that saying yes to Him and saying no to them, and I'm trying to carry them with me, but I gotta grieve and move forward is heavy. The closer I get to God, the more I see this world the way God sees it, and now my heart is breaking at every headline. I'm discouraged when I see war. I'm discouraged when I see violence. I'm discouraged when I see overdoses. God, your heart must be breaking the closer I get to God. The heavier I become. If you're not happy, you're not trying to see this world the way God sees it. You ought to be heavy anytime you see somebody on the corner holding a sign. God, I know this isn't what you meant. People want to know what side are you on? Are you on this side or that side? I'm sad that we're even having to choose sides. I'm happy that this is our reality, that we got to choose between pro-life in the womb or pro-life in the streets. I'm happy that this is our reality. I don't think that this is what God wanted. I'm happy looking at this world. Because I can't imagine that these are the choices that God wanted us to make when He created us in the garden. I don't choose a side, I choose heaviness, because my heart is breaking that no matter who I choose, somebody's going to be wounded in the process, and I think too much like God to just say, oh, well, I care about what's happening in this world. Sometimes God gives us a vision of who we've been and who we're supposed to be, of how off track we are and how much healing there is yet to do. And it makes us happy. In this room, watching online, and no one would know just how heavy you are. Can I tell you, we had one evolve, and women got home and they felt really great from the experience they had, but then they felt really heavy because they realized how much work they have to do, because the closer you get to God, the heavier the burden for breakthroughs in our lives. When we find the disciples in this text, they're dealing with heaviness. It started off smooth sailing, but now things are getting heavy. Child. I don't know if you ever had things start off good and then just get heavy. I understand why Philip says, if you would just show us the Father, that would be sufficient for me. I feel like that is the New King James Version of, may I speak to the manager? Sir. Jesus, Holy Spirit, whichever one of you are available. I need to speak to the manager. Because ain't no way we could go from doing miracles and drawing multitudes to you telling me that we're not going to be able to stick together anymore and you leaving? We're picking fights with systems and you're leaving. The disciples are in a predicament because they have graduated, but they didn't realize the graduation is heavy. That the cost of promotion is more weight. That as Jesus gets out of the way, He's got to shift the weight onto them. Now it's your responsibility to continue the work that I was doing. Weight is a sign of trust. When God says, I can trust you with weight, God says it's because I can trust who you have become in the development process. I can shift some weight onto you. We know this as parents, that we give you little by little, we give you more and more responsibility, more and more freedom, because you can handle the weight. And if no one tells you that more weight is a sign of graduation, you will think that there is something wrong with you when things get heavier at a time when you're supposed to be feeling success. And Jesus says to them in verse 9, he says to them, have I been with you so long, and yet you have not known me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say show us the Father? Okay, first of all, John is not a synoptic gospel. Matthew, Mark, and Luke tell different angles of many of the same stories. But John has this unique perspective on who Jesus is that leans in specifically to who he is as Messiah. Whereas most texts don't tell it, Jesus doesn't blatantly say who he is. Over and over again in John, we see Jesus saying with specificity who he is and what he has been called to do. So you have to understand that when we're looking at Jesus through the lens of the text in John, that we're looking at a different version of Jesus, that we're looking at a full embodied version of who Jesus is. We're seeing Jesus on the fullness of his connection with the Father. And it is important for us to recognize that, because the full embodiment of who Jesus is connected to what we receive when we say we receive Jesus in our hearts. You have to understand that when you got Jesus, that you also got the Father. So you're asking to see the Father, and Jesus is trying to tell him you've seen him all along. I'm about to break this down and we get out of here. Jesus says to Philip, if you can just remember what you have seen along the way, if you can remember the miracles that happen along the way, you will see that God has been with you every step of the way. I want you to remember when a woman pressed her way through a crowd and touched the hem of his garment, and immediately the flow of blood stopped. I want you to know that she didn't just touch Jesus, but she also touched God. I want you to remember when I told the lame man to pick up your bed and walk, that you wasn't just hearing Jesus, that you were also hearing the Father. I want you to understand that all along the way, that you have not just been seeing Jesus, you have been seeing the Father. So if you saw the Father then, and you saw him when we were healing the sick, and you saw him when we were taking a little boy's lunch, you can see him right now, even in the midst of the way. I wish I could say that real good, because I want somebody to understand the only reason why you are qualified to carry the weight that is in front of you is because God has been with you all along the way. If you got into this by yourself, you need to be afraid. If you got into this on your own, I'll tell you, you ought to humble yourself and seek his face. But if you've been following his face all along, and you get to a space where you can no longer see him, I hear God saying, turn around. Woo! I hear God say, turn around. I hear God say, look back over your life. Look back over your life. Remember when I pulled you out of this. Remember when I walked you through that. Remember when I got you over that.
Driving the Nissan Rogue with Google built in is like
Hey Google, turn on Rocky's food.
the ultimate connection. Drive the award-winning Nissan Rogue today.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to cover the order of operations and how to use the order of operations. Now, we can think of the order of operations as a set of rules or instructions that we need to follow when we have a problem with multiple operations and steps. We use the order of operations. That way, everyone is working through problems the same way and using the same rules. This helps us get to the same solutions or answers. Everyone is on the same page, so to speak, and going through problems the same way. As far as the order of operations, we start with parentheses. So parentheses are priority number one. If we see parentheses in an expression, we start there. Then we have exponents, then multiplication and division. Now I do want to mention multiplication and division are on the same level. They are the same priority in the order of operations. So if we have both, we work from left to right. And then addition and subtraction. Now, addition and subtraction are on the same level. They are the same priority. So if we have both, we work from left to right. This will all make a lot more sense as we go through our examples. Just think of the order of operations like a set of instructions that we follow step by step. Now we have an acronym that we can think of in order to remember that order. PEMDAS. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. So PEMDAS just represents the order of operations. Let's jump into our examples and see exactly how all of this works. Starting with number one, where we have 30 divided by, and then in parentheses, 13 minus 8. So let's work through the order of operations. Do we have any parentheses in this expression? Yes, so we start there. We have 13 minus 8 in parentheses. 13 minus 8 is 5. Then we need to bring down everything we did not use. So we have 30 and then divided by 5. So now we have 30 divided by 5. We only have one operation here, division. So that's what we need to do. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So our final answer, 6. So for number one, we worked through the order of operations. We started with parentheses, then we brought down everything we did not use, and we ended with 30 divided by 5, which gave us 6. Let's move on to number two, where we have 16 minus 5 times 3 plus 12. Let's work through the order of operations. Do we have any parentheses? No. So let's move on to exponents. Do we have any exponents? No. So let's move on to multiplication and division. Do we have any multiplication or division? Yes. So that's where we start. We have multiplication. We have 5 times 3. That is 15. Now we need to bring down everything we did not use. So we have 16 minus 15 and then plus 12. So we have 16 minus 15 plus 12. And we need to continue to work through the order of operations. Any parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? No. Any addition or subtraction? Yes, we have both addition and subtraction. Since we have both addition and subtraction, we need to work from left to right. Addition and subtraction are on the same level. They are the same priority in our order of operations. So again, we need to work left to right. When working from left to right, we need to do subtraction first here. So 16 minus 15 is 1. Bring down everything we did not use, so plus 12. And now we have 1 plus 12. We only have one operation left, so that's what we need to do. We need to add 1 plus 12 is 13. And that is our final answer. Let's move on to numbers 3 and 4. Here are numbers 3 and 4. Let's start with number 3, where we have 7 squared minus 14 times 2. Let's work through the order of operations. Are there any parentheses in this expression? No. So let's move on to exponents. Are there any exponents in this expression? Yes. So let's start there. We have 7 squared, which means 7 times 7. That's 49. Bring down everything we did not use. So now we have 49 minus 14 times 2. Let's continue to work through the order of operations. Any parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes, we have multiplication. So that's what we need to do next. We have 14 times 2, which is 28. Bring down everything that we did not use. So 49 minus 28. We have one operation left, subtraction, so we need to subtract 49 minus 28 is 21. So our final answer, 21. Let's move on to number 4, where we have 18 divided by, and then in parentheses, 6 plus 3, and parentheses times 15. Let's work through the order of operations. Any parentheses in this expression? Yes, so we need to start there. We have 6 plus 3 in parentheses, that's 9. And then we need to break down everything we did not use. So now we have 18 divided by 9 times 15. Any parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes, we actually have both multiplication and division. Since we have both, we need to work from left to right. Multiplication and division are on the same level, so to speak. They are the same priority. So when that happens, we work from left to right. When working from left to right, division comes first. We have 18 divided by 9. So let's do that. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Bring down everything we did not use. So times 15 there. And now we have 2 times 15. 2 times 15 gives us 30. Our final answer, 30. So there you have it. There's not to use the order of operations. Just remember, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. Just work through step by step. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.
The American people, we don't sit on the sidelines. We fight for our rights, for freedom, for a chance to get ahead. Now we're taking it to the ballot box. This election, the power is with the people. And when we vote, we win.
School spirit is to be proud of where you come from.
Camaraderie,
Energy.
family. 10 years ago, Graduate Hotels was founded on the idea that school spirit stays with you wherever you go. To celebrate, we brought together a marching band of students past and present who embody the true meaning of that school. Meeting for the first time in Princeton, New Jersey, the band shares their stories and reminds us that no matter where we come from or where we're going, we are all students.
I don't care what school you go to. The spirit never dies. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to cover why we have the order of operations. Why do we use the order of operations? Remember, the order of operations are parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. PEMDAS. Now, simply put, we use the order of operations. That way, everyone is on the same page as far as working through problems. We all work through them the same way in order to get to the same answers. And there isn't any confusion about how to work through things. We all use the same set of rules, the same set of instructions. That's the order of operations. Let's take a look at an example to show why this is important. We have 12 minus 5 times 2. Let's work through this two different ways. We will start by forgetting about the order of operations. Let's say that a person works from left to right, starting with 12.
In this video, we're going to talk about order of operations. Perhaps you've heard of the expression PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear accent. P stands for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A addition, and S subtraction. Now, P, parentheses, has more priority than exponents. So you want to deal with the numbers inside parentheses and then the exponents. Multiplication and division has more priority than addition and subtraction. So you want to multiply or divide before you add or subtract. Addition and subtraction, they have about the same priority. For example, let's see if we want to simplify this expression. 5 plus 8 minus 3. We can add the two numbers first. 5 plus 8 is 13. And then subtract. 13 minus 3 is 10. Now, notice if we subtract first and then add, the result is the same. 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. So you get the same thing. So for addition and subtraction, the order doesn't matter. Now, what about multiplication and division? So let's say if we wish to divide 18 by 3 and then multiply by 3. So according to PEMDAS, does multiplication and division, do they have the same priority? Or is one greater than the other? Now, let's do this both ways. Let's see if we're going to get a different answer or the same answer. Let's divide first. Let's go from left to right. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 23. Now, what's going to happen if we multiply? 3 times 4 is 12. 18 divided by 12 is 1.5. Which answer is the correct answer? If you're not sure, take a calculator and type in exactly what you see. If you type in 18 divided by 3 times 4 in that order, it will give you 25. So this is the right answer. When you're dividing and multiplying, if you're dividing first and then multiplying second, go from left to right. In this case, it appears that division has more priority than multiplication. Now, what if it's the other way around? What if multiplication comes first before division, like in this example? Does the order matter? Let's do it both ways. 12 times 6 is 72, and 72 divided by 2 is 36. Or, if we divide first, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 12 times 3 is 36. So it turns out that if multiplication comes first, the order doesn't matter, you can get the same answer. But if division comes before multiplication, you want to divide first. So a general rule when you're dealing with multiplication and division, perform the operation from left to right. So now we're going to then we have 8. The other negative 3 squared. What does that mean? Now, in this example, this 2 applies to the negative and the 3. So we have 2 negative 3 squared. And also, and when dealing with multiplication and division, let's start from the left side and work up. 4 times. 2 times 2 is 4, so we have another 4. 4 times 4. The way in which we can evaluate this expression is we can distribute the 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 5 is 10. Now there's a plus sign between them. 6 plus 10 is 16. And as you can see, we will get the same answer. Now without this example, 3 times 2 plus 3 squared. Now, you want to work on what's inside the parentheses. It's 10. Now there's a plus sign between them. 6 plus 10 is 16.
Okay. So we do in the parentheses first. So 2. I knew I was right. Answer's 39. Ooh.
And as you can see, we will get the same answer. Now what about this example? 3 times 2 plus 3 squared. Now, you want to work on what's inside the parentheses, and then use the exponent before you multiply.
Let me do this one by myself. So, in the parentheses,
It's easier to get that. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 squared, which is 5 times 5, that's 25. 3/4 is 75 cents, so 3 times 25 is 75. Try this one. What's 150 minus 2 times 2 plus 5 squared? So once again, we want to work on the inside of the parentheses, and then use the exponents. And then we can multiply it, and then subtract. So let's follow this rule. So working with what's inside the parentheses, 2 plus 5 is 7. So we finished with P. Now let's move on to E. Let's work with the exponents. 7 squared, which is 7 times 7. That's 49. So now let's move on to multiplication. 2 times 49 is 98. Now let's move on to subtraction. 150 minus 98 is 42. So 42 is the final answer in this example. Actually, that is not 42. Take that back. That is 52.
Yeah.
And you can confirm that with the calculator. 52 is the final answer. Here's the last example for this particular video. Should we divide first, or should we work with what's inside the parentheses? As a general rule, always evaluate the stuff inside the parentheses. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 times 4, or 4 squared, 16. 64 divided by 16 is 4. So that's it. Now let's move on into some examples of important fractions. Try this one. What's 3 times 4 squared minus 3 squared times 5 divided by 5 times 9? So let's start at the top. Let's work with the exponents before we multiply. 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9. And we can multiply 5 times 9, that's 45. Next, 3 times 16 is 48. 9 times 5 is 45. And now we can subtract those over time. 48 minus 45 is 3. And so this is 1. And then finally, let's reduce the fraction. Let's divide both numbers by 3 because they're divisible by that. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 45 divided by 3 is 15. So this is the solution. Try this one. 3 plus 4 squared divided by 2 squared times is 5. 4 squared is 16. 2 squared is 4. And then multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. 3 plus 6 is 19. So it's 19 over 20. Here's one more example. 5 times 8 times 6 squared divided by 12 times 10 times 4. So in this case, we're dealing with multiplication and maybe a little exponent situation. For this problem, let's break down the numbers into smaller groups. 8 is 4 times 2. 12 is 6 times 2. 10 is 5 times 2. And 6 squared is 6 times 6. So we can cancel 6. We can cancel 4. We can cancel 5. And we can cancel 2. So we're left with 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And that's the answer.
Skin this healthy only wears Pampers.
For over 130 years, Australia University has been offering affordable options to help students get ahead and stay ahead.
In this video, we're going to talk about how to evaluate algebraic expressions. So let's start with this example. Consider the algebraic expression 3x plus 2y minus 5z. And we're given that x is 2, y is 3, and z is -5. Go ahead and evaluate this algebraic expression. So if you're given a problem like this, what you need to do is substitute the values that you have. So x is 2. We're going to replace x with 2. Y is equal to 3. So we're going to substitute y with 3. And z is -5. And now we just need to do the math. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is also 6. -5 times -5, that's positive 25. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 25 is 37. So that's the answer for this first example. Now, let's try another one. So let's say we have the algebraic expression x squared. Oops. Plus 3x minus 4. And let's say we're given that x is equal to 4. Go ahead and evaluate the algebraic expression when x is 4. So this is going to equal 4 squared plus 3 times 4 minus 4. 4 squared, that's 4 times 4, which is 16. 3 times 4 is 12. And 16 plus 12 is 28. 28 minus 4 is 24. So that's the answer for the second example. Now, let's work on some other examples. Consider this expression, 2x squared minus 5y plus 3. Let's say that x is 2 and y is equal to 3. Go ahead and evaluate those expressions, given the values shown on the right. So we need to substitute x with 2, and we need to replace y with 3. Now we need to follow the rules of whenever we're doing order of operations, which is we should start with exponents. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. And 5 times 3 is 13. Actually, no, 5 times 3 is not 13. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 15 plus 3, that's negative 12. And 8 minus 12 is negative 4. So this is the answer. Now, if you ever want to check your work, I recommend plugging in what you have after you substitute x and y into a calculator. So if you take your calculator and type in 2 times 2 squared, and then minus 5 times 3 plus 3, check to make sure that it gives you your final answer, which in this case it does. Here's another problem. 3 times x minus 2 squared plus 5. And let's say that x is 6. Feel free to try that example. So first, let's replace x with 6. And so we have that. Now, perhaps you heard the expression PEMDAS. Please excuse my daring sound. But when you see
Early voting is underway in Georgia. This election will be close, so please make your plan today on when and where to vote.
Discover more Mary at your Holiday headquarters. At home, check it out. Holiday decor, Christmas trees, outdoor inflatables, and more. Every room, every style, every season, and every budget. At home, decor for all for less.
you see this expression, what it means is that we should work with the operations inside the parentheses. And then we can work on the exponents. A and S means addition and subtraction, and M and D means multiplication and division. The priority starts with left and goes towards the right. So we need to work with the things inside the parentheses and the exponents first, before we multiply or before we deal with addition or subtraction. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 squared, or 4 times 4, that's 16. Now we won't add 16 plus 5. We shouldn't perform addition. We need to perform multiplication first. 3 times 16 is 48. And 48 plus 5 is 53. So that's going to be the answer for this problem. And if you want to check your work, simply plug this in to a calculator, which I'm going to do to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Here's another problem that you can try. Let's say we have x squared minus 5 times x minus y raised to the third power. And let's say that x is 6, y is 3. Go ahead and try that. So this is going to be 6 squared minus 5 times 6 minus 3 raised to the third power. 6 squared, or 6 times 6, that's going to be 36. Now before we use the exponent, we need to work the operation inside the parentheses. So 6 minus 3 is 3. Before we subtract, we need to work with the exponents first. And before we multiply, we need to work with the exponents first. 3 to the third power, that's 3 times 3 times 3. which is 27. Now before we subtract, we need to multiply 5 and 27. 5 times 27 is 135. And 36 minus 135, the final answer is negative 99. Then now let's make sure. Go ahead and plug exactly what you see into your calculator. This answer is indeed correct. So now let's move on to the next example. Let's say we have the expression x squared plus 5y minus 2x y squared. And let's say that x is 5, y is 4. Go ahead and try that. So we're going to have 5 squared plus 5 times y, or 5 times 4, minus 2x and y squared. 5 squared, 5 times 5, that's 25. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 5 is 10, and 4 squared is 16. Now, 25 plus 20, it's going to be 45. And 10 times 16 is 160. 45 minus 160 is negative 115. So that's the answer for this problem. But go ahead and plug everything in to make sure we have it right. That's how you know if you did it correct. Just plug in what you have after you substituted x and y into your calculator and see if it gives you the same final result, which in this case it does. Now, let's say we have this. 3 times x plus 4 divided by 2x minus 3y. And let's say that x is 5, y is 2. Go ahead and try that. So replacing x with 5, we have 3 times 5 plus 4 over 2 times 5 minus 3 times 2. Now, before we multiply, let's work on the operation inside the parentheses. 5 plus 4 is 9. And on the bottom, we have 2 times 5, which is 10, minus 3 times 2, which is 6. Now, 3 times 9 is 27. 10 minus 6 is 4. So, we
Remember when I walked. When we say we receive Jesus in our hearts, you have to understand that when you got Jesus, that you also got the Father. So you're asking to see the Father, and Jesus is trying to tell him, you've seen him all along. I'm about to break this down and we get out of here. Jesus says to Philip, if you can just remember what you have seen along the way, if you can remember the miracles that happen along the way, you will see that God has been with you every step of the way. I want you to remember when a woman pressed her way through a crowd and touched the hem of his garment, and immediately the flow of blood stopped. I want you to know that she didn't just touch Jesus, but she also touched God. I want you to remember when I told the lame man to pick up your bed and walk, that you wasn't just hearing Jesus, that you were also hearing the Father. I want you to understand that all along the way, that you have not just been seeing Jesus, you have been seeing the Father. So if you saw the Father then, and you saw him when we were healing the sick, and you saw him when we were taking a little boy's lunch, you can see him right now now, even in the midst of the weight. I wish I could say that real good, because I want somebody to understand the only reason why you are qualified to carry the weight that is in front of you is because God has been with you all along the way. If you got into this by yourself, you need to be afraid. If you got into this on your own, I'll tell you, you ought to humble yourself and seek his face. But if you've been following his face all along, and you get to a space where you can no longer see him, I hear God saying, turn around. Woo! I hear God say, turn around. I hear God say, look back over your life. Look back over your life. Remember when I pulled you out of this. Remember when I walked you through that. Remember when I got you over there. I haven't left. I'm not done. I didn't leave you. You just graduated. I didn't change my mind. You just graduated. I want to talk to somebody. And you've been following God and things got heavy. You've been following God and things got hard. The only reason that Jesus can have this conversation with him. The only reason that Jesus can even give him a foreshadowing of what's to come is because they've walked this thing called life out. And I hear God say that when you walk with me, that when you allow me to lead you, to guide you, that things may get heavier before there's liftoff. I was studying, and I thought that the disciples had a weight problem. They were just heavy from everything that was happening. God told me yesterday, this isn't a weight problem. This is a faith problem. This is a faith problem. Over and over again, Jesus is believe in me. Believe in me, believe in me. If you believe in me, then this will happen. If you believe in me, if you believe in me, the way won't matter if you believe in me. I know it's heavy, but if you believe in me. I know you're tired, but if you believe in me. God told me to make sure that there was distinction between you believing in him and you believing for things. Because when you believe for an outcome and you believe for a thing, when the thing doesn't happen and the outcome doesn't happen, then you don't have faith at all. Jesus doesn't do like we would do. He doesn't say, everything's going to work out. Just have faith, everything's going to work out. Jesus says, believe in me. Oh, God. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Believe in me. That no matter what happens, wasn't just good then that I'll be good now. You gotta believe in me. Don't believe for an outcome. I know you want to be healed. I know you want resurrection power. I know you want things to work out. But I hear God saying the greater place for your belief is not in an outcome. The best place for your belief is to believe in me. Because if you believe in me, no weapon formed against you will prosper. If you believe in me, every tongue that rises up against you, I will condemn. If you believe in me, I'll walk with you.
Oh, if you want fast, reliable, and future-proof Wi-Fi, you have to check out the Netgear Orbi Wi-Fi 7 mesh system.
Kamala Harris has given us an opportunity to reclaim joy. From the courthouse to the White House, she's delivered. This is our time, the moment our elders dreamed of. When we elect one of our own for the issues that matter and the communities that need change, it's time to stand up, organize, and make history. She's been with us, so we're with her. Moving forward, never back. Vote Kamala Harris for president. Paid for by 1,000 Women Strong PAC. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Do we still need HBCUs? Look at the data. They generate billions in economic impact and create thousands of jobs. HBCUs have done so much for America. What will you do for HBCUs? Get the facts.
Every step of the way. And culture has hijacked faith and made it about an outcome. And then when I don't get the outcome, I don't have faith in God. You never have faith in God. You only have faith in your outcome. Because real faith in God says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can be rich. I can be poor. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can be up. I can be down. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My faith is in God. And that's why he says to them, if you believe in me, all the works that you've seen me do, greater works are the overflow of faith. Works are not the reason to have faith. If I really have faith in God, I'll do greater works than the ones that I've seen. Not because I have faith in the works that I will do, but because I am so connected to God that I had no choice but to do greater works. Because anything I put my hands to, God was whispering in my ear how to do it, how to build it, how to speak it, how to raise them. Greater works am I going to do, not because I'm so great, but because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I've got faith in God. I don't have faith in the election. I don't have faith in the partner. I don't have faith in the bank. I've got faith in God. I don't have faith in the doctor. I got faith in God. So God, you bless the doctor. God, you assign the lawyer. God, you put me in the right court. God, you give me the right manager. I got it. I got it. God told me if I do this right, that you would leave with the reality that greater works, they require greater faith. That greater weight requires greater faith. And if all you focus on is the weight and you lose faith, you lose access to the strategy that shows you how to take that weight to new heights. Do you read all of 14? Jesus says to the disciples, I gotta go. Y'all are so good. He said, but I won't leave you as orphans. I'm going to send the Holy Spirit. I'm going to send you a helper. I'm going to send you truth. I'm going to send you guidance. I'm going to send you wisdom. I got to go. I got to go to greater heights. But I won't leave you here by yourself. I'm going to make sure you got a bridge to higher. I'm going to make sure you have access to higher. I'm going to make sure that higher is in your ear. I'm going to make sure that higher is in your spirit. I'm going to make sure that higher is waking you up at night. I'm going to make sure that higher is wiping tears off your face. I'm going to make sure that higher is showing you how to walk again, showing you how to talk again. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that I don't just leave you here with this weight. I'm going to make sure that you know that you have someone you can shift the weight onto. Y'all, I'm about to close, but I feel my help coming because I want somebody to know that you're not carrying this weight on your own. You got to shift that weight onto the Holy Ghost. You got to shift that weight onto God. You got to shift that weight not by might, nor by power, but by your spirit, says God. I'm going to shift this weight onto God. I'm not going to cry another tear about it. I'm not going to stay up another weight. God, you brought me in it. God, you're going to have to see me out of it. Shift the weight. Shift the weight. You've been carrying something that ain't yours to carry. Shift the weight. You've been worried about something that God says I'm gonna take care of. You need to shift the weight. That person's not your responsibility. Shift the weight. This depression you can't fight on your own. You need backup in the spirit. God, I feel like I'm losing my mind. So I'm coming to you in prayer because I gotta shift this weight up off of me. God, this sickness is all in my body, but I'm gonna get up there and preach anyway because His word ain't my weight to carry. This is your word. These are your people. Shift the weight. As you shift the weight, you shift it. God will show you how to soar with it. You've been trying to take off on your own. But I hear God saying, you shift the weight. We can figure it out together. Come unto me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. Shift that weight. Shift that weight onto me and I'll give you rest. Shift that weight onto me and I'll give you peace. Shift that, trust me with it. You've done all you can do. You can't carry no more. Shift that weight onto me. God has greater works. And sometimes you feel the weight. Oh, that's what I learned when I studied. I say, what does this reveal to me about the character of God? Or what this revealed to me is God gives us weight. And then we have to bind the thing. He didn't give the disciples the faith they needed for this next dimension. He said, for this next dimension, I'm going to put the weight on you. But you're going to have to find the faith. How then do I increase my faith? When we receive a word, we have to put that work with that word. Faith without works is dead. That's why you can be in an environment like this and you can have faith. But then you don't have any work to it and the faith is dead. And then not you, but some people you know. I say, something wrong with that church. I got a lot of faith, but nothing happened. What did you do when you left here? With what God gave you? What is your response? There are some steps that many of you need to take by faith. You're not going to have all the answers. It's not going to make sense to everyone else. But your response says, God, I didn't just hear you. I'm moving. I didn't just hear you. I'm moving in the direction of what you said. I don't need you to send me nothing else. I'm going to move in the direction of what you said. And then that mustard seed of faith begins to grow. Because you watered it with your works. You watered it with your actions. I don't know what area of your life God's been speaking to you. And if you're honest, you haven't been obedient. You wouldn't call it disobedient. You would say, can I talk to the manager? You would say, if I could just see God, that would be sufficient for me. But I hear God saying that many of us are missing out on the opportunity to truly show that we have faith in God, not just in an outcome. Sometimes we're not obedient because we're afraid that if I'm obedient and then I don't get what I thought was on the other side of obedience, then I'm going to be wounded. Which means your faith is in your definition of what a win looks like. But when you have faith in God, I'm not worried about the outcome. My faith is in my obedience to God. So if the outcome doesn't look like what I had in mind, that's okay. Because you must have something in mind that will make sense as I continue to follow you. My obedience cannot stop at the place of an outcome.
You could be arrested and go to jail for taking care of a patient. That's basically what it is for Republicans. If Republicans get back in office, it's not going to be our choice anymore. They want a nationwide ban. Every day I worry about my daughter's future and her rights here. When I'm voting this year, I'm voting for healthcare, for women's rights, and our right to choose. I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
Joshua chapter 5, verse 1 through 15. It's a little bit more reading than I normally do, but I'm going to read verses 1 through 15 out of the book of Joshua, chapter number 5. When you have it, say amen. Now, when all the Amorite kings west of the Jordan and all the Canaanite kings along the coast heard how the Lord had dried up the Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over, their hearts melted in fear. And they no longer had the courage to face the Israelites. Stop right there. I want to go back and do that again. Now, when the Amorite kings, look at how everything is put in perspective based on the Jordan itself. Now, when all the Amorite kings west of the Jordan and all the Canaanite kings along the coast heard how the Lord had dried up the Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over, their hearts melted in fear, and they no longer had the courage to face the Israelites because of what God did at the Jordan. Come on. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, make flint knives and circumcise the Israelites again. So Joshua made flint knives. Ooh, it hurts to read this. And circumcised the Israelites and Haraloth. Now this is why he did so. All those who came out of Egypt, all the men of military age, died in the wilderness on the way after leaving Egypt. All the people that came out had been circumcised, but all the people born in the wilderness during the journey from Egypt had not. The Israelites had moved about in the wilderness 40 years until all the men who were of military age when they left Egypt had died, since they had not obeyed the Lord. For the Lord had sworn to them that they would not see the land he had solemnly promised their ancestors to give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. So he raised up their sons. Oh my God. The thing that he had from the fathers, he gave to the sons. Because of their disobedience, he passed up that generation and dropped it to the next generation. Oh my God. So he raised up their sons in their place. And these were the ones Joshua circumcised. They were bleeding, but they were blessed. Oh my God, from that. They were still uncircumcised because they had not been circumcised on the way. They were moving uncircumcised. They were progressing uncircumcised. But you can only go so far before God has to correct what has been uncorrected. They moved along the way uncircumcised. A lot of us move along the way and we get a lot of things done. But that doesn't mean that God is totally pleased just because you have progress. Doesn't mean that God has pleasure because you are moving, but you're moving in an uncircumcised fashion. And sooner or later it's going to catch up to you. And God says, I got to fix this. Before you cross over into your ultimate sacrifice, I got to get some of your flesh cut out of the way. I don't know who I'm talking to. And after the whole nation had been circumcised, they remained where they were in camp until they were healed. Isn't it funny how God will stop everything for you to get healed? How God doesn't want you to serve bleeding, serve wounded, that God wants you to be healed and to recover so that he can get the fullness out of your life. Then the Lord said to Joshua, today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you. The reproach, the residue, the curse of Egypt has been rolled away. Even though you weren't born in it, you have reproach from it. These were born along the way. And yet the residue of the experience of their fathers had affected the sons. And he said, this day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you. So the place has been called Gilgal to this day. I want you to hear what I just said. They weren't in Egypt. They weren't from Egypt. They were born after Egypt. But the reproach of Egypt was still on them. Can you say amen? Say amen for the first lady. I see how y'all looking at her. I can't preach till you say something, so go ahead and let's get that out. So the place has been called Gilgal to this day. Okay? On the evening of the 14th day of the month, while camped at Gilgal on the plains of Jericho, the Israelites celebrated the Passover. Now they're gone from bleeding.
if there is such a thing as free money, we give people a little sample of Ibotta.
Hi, could I interest you in a sample from Ibotta?
What's going on?
It's just money.
Ibotta is an app that gives you cash back every time you shop.
What is that? I would just take this. This is real.
This is insane.
What's the catch?
There's no cash. It's just cash.
Get cash back every time you shop with Ibotta.
What if you left lag behind? The 32-inch LG Ultra Gear OLED dual-mode gaming monitor gives you a competitive advantage. 2 refresh rates, 2 resolutions. Since it's OLED, the screen looks amazing. See all your gaming details in full 4K resolution at a speedy 240 Hz refresh rate. But if that's not quite enough, press the Get Good button. Now that's not what it's actually called, and switch to the 1080p at a mind-blowing 480 Hz refresh rate. You'll experience ultra smooth gaming with almost no lag or ghosting, making your next move crystal clear. Now who's the GOAT? GG, everybody!
I haven't left. I'm not done. I didn't leave you. You just graduated. I didn't change my mind. You just graduated. I want to talk to somebody. And you've been following God and things got heavy. You've been following God and things got hard. The only reason that Jesus can have this level of conversation with Philip, the only reason that Jesus can even give him a foreshadowing of what's to come is because they've walked this thing called life now. I hear God say that when you walk with me, that when you allow me to lead you, to guide you, that things may get heavier before there's liftoff. I was studying, and I thought that the disciples had a weight problem. They were just heavy from everything that was happening. God told me yesterday, this isn't a weight problem. This is a faith problem. This is a faith problem. Over and over again, Jesus says, believe in me. Believe in me. Believe in me. If you believe in me, then this will happen. If you believe in me, if you believe in me, the way won't matter if you believe in me. I know it's heavy, but if you believe in me. I know you're tired, but if you believe in me. God told me to make sure that there was distinction between you believing in him and you believing for things. Because when you believe for an outcome and you believe for a thing, when the thing doesn't happen and the outcome doesn't happen, then you don't have faith at all. Jesus doesn't do like we would do. He doesn't say, everything's going to work out. Just have faith, everything's going to work out. Jesus says, believe in me. Oh, God. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Believe in me. That no matter what happens, that I wasn't just good then, that I'll be good now. You got to believe in me. resurrection power. I know you want things to work out, but I hear God saying the greater place for your belief is not in an outcome. The best place for your belief is to believe in me. Because if you believe in me, no weapon formed against you will prosper. If you believe in me, every tongue that rises up against you, I will condemn. If you believe in me, I'll walk with you every step of the way. And culture has hijacked faith and made it about an outcome. And then when I don't get the outcome, I don't have faith in God. You never had faith in God. You only had faith in your outcome. Because real faith in God says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can be rich. I can be poor. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can be up. I can be down. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My faith is in God. And that's why he says to them, if you believe in me, all the works that you've seen me do, greater works are the overflow of faith. Works are not the reason to have faith. If I really have faith in God, I'll do greater works than the ones that I've seen. Not because I had faith in the works that I will do, but because I am so connected to God that I had no choice but to do greater works. Because anything I put my hands to, God was whispering in my ear how to do it, how to build it, how to speak it, how to raise them. Greater works am I going to do? Not because I'm so great, but because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I got faith in God. I don't have faith in the election. I don't have faith in the partner. I don't have faith in the bank. I got faith in God. I don't have faith in the doctor. I got faith in God. So God, you bless the doctor. God, you assign the lawyer. God, you put me in the right court. God, you give me the right manager. I got God told me if I do this right, that you would leave with the reality that greater works that require greater faith, that greater weight requires greater faith. And if all you focus on is the weight and you lose faith, you lose access to the strategy that shows you how to take that weight to new heights. If you read all of 14, Jesus says to the disciples, I gotta go. Y'all are suffering. He said, but I won't leave you as orphans. I'm gonna send the Holy Spirit. I'm gonna send you a helper. I'm gonna send you truth. I'm gonna send you guidance. I'm gonna send you wisdom. I gotta go. I gotta go to greater heights. But I won't leave you here by yourself. I'm gonna make sure you got a bridge to higher. I'm gonna make sure you have access to higher. I'm gonna make sure that higher is in your ear. I'm gonna make sure that higher is in your spirit. I'm gonna make sure that higher is waking you up at night. I'm gonna make sure that higher is wiping tears off your face. I'm gonna make sure that higher is showing you how to walk again, showing you how to talk again. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure that I don't just leave you here with this weight. I'm gonna make sure that you know that you have someone you can shift the weight onto. Y'all, I'm about to close, but I feel my help coming because I want somebody to know that you're not carrying this weight on your own. You gotta shift that weight onto the Holy Ghost. You gotta shift that weight onto God. You gotta shift that weight not by might, nor by power, but by your spirit, says God. I'm gonna shift this weight onto God. I'm not gonna cry another tear about it. I'm not gonna stay up another way. God, you brought me in it. God, you're gonna have to see me out of it. Shift away. Shift away. You've been carrying something that ain't yours to carry. Shift away. You've been worried about something that God says, I'm going to take care of. You need to shift away. That person's not your responsibility. Shift away. This depression you can't fight on your own. You need backup in the spirit. God, I feel like I'm losing my mind. So I'm coming to you in prayer. Because I got to shift this weight up off of me. God, this sickness is all in my body. But I'm going to get up there and preach anyway. Because this word ain't my weight to carry. This is your word. These are your people. Shift the weight. As you shift the weight, you shift it. God will show you how to soar with it. You've been trying to take off on your own. But I hear God saying, you shift the weight. We can figure it out together. Come unto me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. Shift that weight. Shift that weight onto me and I'll give you rest. Shift that weight onto me and I'll give you peace. Shift that, trust me with it. You've done all you can do. You can't carry no more. Shift that weight onto me. God has greater works. And sometimes you feel the weight. Oh, that's what I learned when I studied. They say, what does this reveal to me about the character of God? Well, what this revealed to me is God gives us weight. And then we have to find the faith. He didn't give the disciples the faith that they needed for this next dimension. He said, for this next dimension, I'm going to put the weight on you. But you're going to have to find the faith. How then do I increase my faith? When we receive a word, we have to put that work. With that word, faith without works is dead. That's why you can be in an environment like this and you can have faith. But then you don't let any work through and the faith is dead. And then not you, but some people you know. I say something wrong with that church. I got a lot of faith when that happened. What did you do when you left here? With what God gave you? What is your response? There are some steps that many of you need to take by faith. You're not going to have all the answers. It's not going to make sense to everyone else. But your response says, God, I didn't just hear you. I'm moving. I didn't just hear you. I'm moving in the direction of what you said. I don't need you to send me nothing else. I'm going to move in the direction of what you spoke. And then that mustard seed of faith begins to grow because you watered it with your works. You watered it with your actions. I don't know what area of your life God's been speaking to you. And if you're honest, you haven't been obedient. You wouldn't call it disobedient. You would say, can I talk to the manager? You would say, if I could just see God, that would be sufficient for me. But I hear God saying that many of us are missing out on the opportunity to truly show that we have faith in God, not just in an outcome. Sometimes we're not obedient because we're afraid that if I'm obedient and then I don't get what I thought was on the other side of obedience, then I'm going to be wounded. Which means your faith is in your definition of what a win looks like. But when you have faith in God, I'm not worried about the outcome. My faith is in my obedience to God. So if the outcome doesn't look like what I had in mind, that's okay. Because you must have something in mind that will make sense as I continue to follow you. My obedience cannot stop at the place of an outcome.
Consciente está rompiendo toda la habitación y bueno, necesitamos que le manden a alguien, por favor. Sí, correcto. Y necesitamos que nos envíen a alguien urgente porque, bueno, yo necesito arreglar la vida de usted. Está en una habitación que...
Fog went, temperature raised. And that was the weirdest thing I ever heard as a man, because as a dude, I don't have to concentrate on shit to have an orgasm. If my jeans are too tight and I'm walking too fast and there's a slight breeze, I'm just saying there's laundry to be done at some point. It's interesting, though, man. She did make me want to. She actually is directly inside that room.
Yeah, and what you heard them also front.
Gut that I was proud of because I had put that gut together. Right? I did that. But we were away on the beach, an all-inclusive resort, and my wife was dope. You know what I mean? She was great in a two-piece bikini, and I got my gut out, and I'm walking down the beach with her behind.
Election alert. Election day is on November 5th. Who you vote for is private, but if you vote, it's public information. After this election, your voter record will be updated, and your friends and family will be able to see how often you vote. Whether by mail, early, or in person on November 5th, make sure you have a plan. And do your civic duty by voting on or by November 5th. Or drop it in.
More getting out there. More soaking it up. Pacifica, lights wave.
Commonwealth supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for birth surgery.
For prisoners. For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail without money. Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I've had trials and tribulations, and I've had lost expectations. I've been rolled down and put down and beat down and missing. Yes, I have. But lately I've been thinking sometimes when I've been drinking that just ain't no forgiveness here standing alive. I'm letting know I'm wrong. Oh, it's moving me. I got those stereotypes. There's no time there to understand me. You never tell me. So these sisters think I'm ministers and won't let them be. Listen to me. Since your man's always taking a fight, he says nothing that you do is right. You take his abuse, and what's your excuse? I love him, yes. Maybe it's because you know you recognize whatever is over. I guess who's trouble in my life? Just keep wearing those blues, color glasses and everything. Hey, any way I can get a beer today? Yeah. Life could not be sweeter. I'm dying. You say what I love is you walk up and breathe crying. No better always try as you might. There ain't no hope over a sight. Next step on the Jessica Taylor Judge Show. Reverse for Jesus. Lasagna! I know! So you say, broken hearted. You feel bad, you feel discarded. And you're stressed and distraught and disgraced and discouraged as hell. Your desperation was a made-up explanation. Do you find it surprise? Even you believe the life you stop the check. Oh, child, it's incredible. Lasagna, come on, hurry! I got those little trash. It's a long dog. You got nothing at all. Except the husband who is hateful, ungrateful, and mean. Always making a scene. Maybe sometimes he'll throw you a bone. Think it's better than being alone. What's yours is not his, and what I'm stopping is you still got some dream
one tribulation. Pulverize the corn. It seems right. Willie! Willie, baby! I'm coming! Woo! I'm coming, Willie! Ooh, girl. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave that lost every time. You and that internet, I've run you the new BBB. We can't beat that again. But you want. Well, Lasagna, I'm not. You got that article how to talk to yourself nice. Hold on, it's that. Thank you. Shut down. We got another dollar that coffee jug. This is a good one. It's not. I see where that waitress that moved into Space 17 has put out a little nose. It's the TV thing. Give me the heebie-jeebies. That's got my whole neighborhood on that food for a trade. She living in a camper city. They used to have rules about no travel trailers in this port and such things, but they lowered their standards right before you moved in. Well, she is dressed a real nice bird, all right. Oh, the time to be nice. Have you seen the way she dresses? Cut off jeans and tube tops at her age. And white. That's white with Annalise on the mirror while she go to a house like that. Raylene Hobbs. Right trash name. Even though her spirit is sad, she seems real nice. But I agree. A little on the trashy side. Well, I ain't getting her to the squad. No, ma'am. Don't be negative. It is not somebody I won't know. And you are too judgmental, Lasagna. God loves all creatures. You know that. But you got to work overtime on that. Oh, I see you're pouring. Get back on.
John 3:16 looks like we're home, and I can actually feel spirit start to move.
She got the spirit of you to go with me.
No return. Who says that Jesus movement has left the ground? His return? You go near that time, you don't take the call out, put up your hand on the floor, and it all over the land.
You want to come on watch the rest of the show on that way?
You go on. You can tell me how to turn it out. I'm going to see if I can get this recorder to a TV family and look. JD's game is tonight. What's going to happen?
It's an old TV. You didn't break it. Man, you shouldn't be mad at the old TV.
Well, he will not be happy.
Well, he started saying on you that was face this time.
You know, he never hits me. She couldn't talk to him.
That's exactly what my sister used to say. Now, I've known you for 5 years now, really.
Lasagna, please, I have to fix this thing.
One day my sister's going to be like after.
Lasagna, I don't want to hear about your sister, not today. That's what you always say. I love you, but please be sure on top. I need to fix this.
You don't want to hear about my sister.
Lasagna, I cannot hear about your sister today. That's what you always say. I know. But you are talking about patience. Sorry.
Sorry, I am so sorry.
gets home and everything's gonna turn out A-okay. Bye-bye. Dr. Bill Fisher. Oh, wow. You ain't fixing that TV. I'm doing something about fixing that TV. Fixing that TV ain't really with it. Well, he might have been. You just go on home. I will see you tomorrow. Dr. Bill Fisher.
Hey, you. Over here, check it out there.
Name's Raylene. Raylene Hogg. Maybe if you call me by my name instead of Hattie, like it's in a barnyard somewhere, I'll rush over with the beer.
Hey, Raylene. Look at your cute little ass over there with Coney.
That's more like it.
Back of them corn chips. Raylene.
That's more like it. Alright, what's that?
You living out of trailer for it, don't you?
Right across the way, my little bit of a home. I'm 17.
You like it here in Mesquite?
Marcia good. I met your wife. She seems real sweet. Y'all have a happy marriage.
What do you think?
I believe you are someone I should stay away from.
And what else?
Because I work here and I'm doing my job.
Is your job just sitting down with the customer shooting the shit?
For your information, the state of Texas gives me 2 15-minute breaks wherever I like it.
I'm gonna ask you again. I'm in the state of Texas, still 20 minutes, right? Why don't you stay away from me?
You're asking me trick questions.
That's the trick about quick moments. So,
I can't remember what the question was.
that's probably what you gotta. So, you ain't married?
Not no more. I was once. Well, twice. Well, 5 times actually. Things didn't work out all 5 times. And there's this law in the state of Texas that says you can't remarry after 5 times. You have to move to another state to get married again. And God, I love Texas. Mesquite trees, hot summer, big hair, big butts, everything. You gotta stop at some point getting married. My sister told me that. Her friend works for a lawyer. I hate my sister. She's got money now because she married some mucky mug, works for Exxon, had a big expense account and everything. She lives in Marfa. She's Baptist. Ooh, don't get me started on the Baptist. It's just too early. You look up the word self-righteous in the dictionary, you'll see her picture. So I just stopped marrying. Probably for the best, because I seem to be attracted to losers.
Well, for your information, I am a winner.
A winner.
That's right.
You're married trying to pick me up. You ain't no winner.
Not happily married. Shit. I still saw one of you cracking dawn and say, a lot of me go around. Besides, you've been married 5 times.
I said I pick losers. It's a pattern of mine.
So all them marriages broke up because of them, right? All that shit
That's right.
that you chose.
I picked losers. I ain't been over this again.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's them who think the loser is 5 times married cocktail waitress.
You know what? What? You're an asshole.
Yeah, well, you know exactly what you are.
Just a future, everybody. Strange pleasure. In your dreams, you asswipe.
Always those trials and tribulations, breaking up piles of aggravations, and letting go and coping and hoping you ain't gonna die. Another housewife who's paying her dues, who keeps saying no strain and cash blues. Your man's for no room, and when he comes home, you pray that you won't refuse.
You must have won the fuse.
Your self-esteem just keeps on shrinking. It's sink or swim, and honey, you're sinking. God, listen up. What are you thinking?
I think they're pleased with the video. All right. Welcome to the Credit Karmaverse, a place where financial progress can happen at the speed of delight. Here we help you achieve your money goals fast, like improving your credit score in a matter of days fast, so you don't have to wait around to see your hard work pay off. Oh, well done. Simply scan your screen to experience Intuit Credit Karma for yourself.
The Ultimate Bundle just keeps getting better. With the most anticipated new releases.
What happens next?
Join me.
I am back, baby. We're going to Hollywood.
You'll be we're in this together now. It's just the beginning. The Disney Plus Hulu Max Bundle. Plans starting at $16.99 a month.
To help protect from HIV, I prep without pills. With Apretude, a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of HIV without daily PrEP pills. With one shot every other month, just 6 times a year. In studies, Apretude was proven superior to a daily PrEP pill in reducing the risk of HIV. You must be HIV negative to receive Apretude and get tested before each injection. If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. Apretude does not prevent other sexually transmitted infections. Practice safer sex. Reduce your risk. Don't take Apretude if you're allergic to it or taking certain medicines as their name tracks. Tell your doctor if you've had liver or kidney problems or mental health concerns. If you have a rash or other allergic reactions, stop Apretude and get medical help right away. Serious side effects include allergic reactions, liver problems, and depression. Some of the most common side effects include injection site reactions and headache. You must receive Apretude on schedule. Ask your doctor about long-acting Apretude
And PrEP without pills.
Say at Apretude.com.
Congress supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for privilege.
Surgery. For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail without money. Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
You pushed me down the stairs.
I had a gift for you.
shitty?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your day was bad.
My day was shitty, not bad. Damn, woman, shitty's a good word. What's your problem?
Well, it's vulgar, Mom. I don't like using it, but you are welcome to use softy language if you like.
Hush up, Butcher, and make it a very shitty. What's this up?
Oh, tuna casserole, green beans, white bread, real fresh, not day old.
Lemon left.
And delicately peaches in syrup for dessert.
Right there. Oh, there's a knot right there.
I'll be ready in about 7 minutes. Would you like a glass of iced tea while we wait? I think I'm having one.
Yeah.
Okay. Get you that beer. Have you met Raylene yet? I'm sure you have. She's been working over the spotlight for about a week now. Here you go. And she drives an old El Camino. I took her over some of the cherry apple light. Woke her up, and she didn't get off work till 2. Then get home till around 3. She still had her makeup on, all smeared. Very fine. I'm very happy.
You made her cherry duck the light, and you're having fun peaches every day.
And Sarah, she's trying to be neighborly. She seems real nice. Cusses a lot, though. Uses the F word even when she's not mad. Love delicately peaches and heavy syrup. I got the best.
I like cherry duck a lot better. You make me some cherry duck a lot tomorrow. And I don't want you being neighbor anymore with that tramp. She's beneath us. When's the last time you made me steak?
Today's the 3rd Wednesday of the month, JD. That's all we can afford. I do my best.
Flipping coupons and looking for specials? Don't steak ever go on special?
I buy it on special. I do my very best.
Well, your very best is flat out shitty if you ask me. Always has been. You better start coming up with some more ideas on how I can eat steak more than once. What the hell else you got to do with that thing, man? What? Start thinking that you can make me steak more than once a month. You're retarded.
Okay, I will. Oh, I got an idea. Why don't you give me 104 calories a week instead of 115? I could get you steak twice a month then, maybe 3 times back on good specials.
I can't afford that, and you know it. That's a shitty idea.
Maybe if you had your beers here instead of at the spotlight, we could well afford it. Steak. I've been thinking, JD, maybe if you cut down there to once or twice a week, you could have your after work dinners here, and we could go to a movie on golf night, and I could get you steak waffle. Now, wouldn't that be nice?
No, that would not be nice. I worked my ass off, Bill, and you were trying to take away my one true pleasure in life. Winding down with a beer after work at the spotlight.
I suspect you have more than one beer.
Say you're sorry for trying to take away my one true pleasure in life. say you're sorry, Willowdene, for trying to take your hard-working husband's one true pleasure away. Say it!
I'm sorry.
For trying to take away the one true pleasure from a hard-working husband.
Hard-working
Yeah, you're sorry, all right. Sorry, ungrateful ingrate. You think I like hauling asphalt from Mesquite to Tyler and back again? And then to Denton and back again? And then to Plano and back again? And then to McKinney and back again? And then to Arlington and back again? You think I like my shitty ass job, Willowdene?
No.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, woman. The only thing I have to look forward to every day is getting off work and having a couple of beers down there at Spotlight 201 before I had to come home. You don't understand stress when you're at your project. You don't know what it's like to live with failed dreams every day of your life. You ain't gone got yourself thinking with that little worthless no-count faggot. I could have played for the Dallas Cowboys. I could have been Roger fucking Staubach or Troy fucking Aikman if you had not knocked up in traffic. I was all district 4 years in a row. You just don't get it.
I had dreams too. I had my own dreams.
Bull fucking shit. You didn't have no dreams. Now just shut up and get your shitty tuna casserole out of the shitty oven and let's just eat another shitty meal. Come on!
Amy.
I hope you were praying for steak to go on Oh, come on. Laugh. I made it funny. That's your problem. You ain't got no sense of humor.
I do too. Have a sense of humor.
Well, improve. Laugh at my funny. Come on, I'll say it again.
Okay.
I hope you're ready for Rabbi Steph to go for special. Yeah. What was it?
Was that what?
Praying for steak going special.
No.
Why not? That's a good prayer.
Because I think God has better things to do than raise for steak and on special than at a grocery store.
And what would you praying for? One little piece?
No.
Step what?
It's just pretty obvious. Make cherry up the light for you tomorrow for dessert.
Oh, that's my girl. Oh, shit, my gang. Woo.
JD, while I was watching
JD, JD, I was, oh,
The hell's wrong with TV?
JD, today while I was watching,
What the hell happened to television the other day?
I'm sorry, while I was watching, I didn't do anything, it just popped.
Pop, goddamn you. How the hell am I supposed to watch my goddamn game, huh? What the hell did you do to it?
Nothing, it just popped. I was trying to fix it.
You was trying to fix it? What the hell you know about fixing a goddamn pro TV? Goddamn, want to watch my game and drop my TV. Drop my TV. What the hell? What the hell is it? Is that bitch been over here again? I told you I don't want her in my house.
She is my only friend.
You get rid of her, I mean. You don't need no friend. You tell that bitch she is not welcome in this house anymore. And I mean it, Willoughby. And don't you even speak to that friend down there at 17. I have had this at my house, and I say what's what, and you are for a baby like you do. You got that? And I won't stay more than once a month because I'm tired of these pussies. Got it? And you're paying to fix that TV. Got it? Oh, get the shit off my TV. Oh, you did this so you could go to Dollar Room and not think.
No, I didn't.
You don't want a goddamn you. This is my goddamn trailer house, bought and paid for by me. You're paying to fix that TV, got it?
Fine, I'll get a job.
You'll figure out another way, but you sure shit ain't gonna get no job.
How am I gonna pay for fixing it?
I got it. My TV, I can't watch my TV.
I will get a job.
No, you will not get a job.
No, so and I'll go to Dollar Night Lasagna and you can't stop me.
No, I can't. Wives, submit yourself under your husband as unto the Lord. You will not get a goddamn job.
Baby, don't go.
God damn, you close this. Broke my TV and caused me to get mad and miss my game. Now you get a pocket goddamn wheel. And I'll hurt my hand all because of you. God damn you.
Daddy, don't go. Don't go.
A message from Sonic Farmers Research and Deliciousness.
Did you know your new favorite burger has hand-smashed patties made to order, hot and melty cheese, and a tangy sauce? How rude of me. Let me introduce you.
Try the only double sonic smasher, that half price drinking the apple.
Election alert. Election day is on November 5th. Who you vote for is private, but if you vote is public information. After this election, your voting record will be updated, and your friends and family will be able to look up how often you vote. So vote on or by Tuesday, November 5th.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce me.
Which you do you want to be today? At TJ Maxx, you can afford to turn your closet into a place of endless expression. With the quality you deserve, styles you crave, and prices you love.
I'm gonna do what I do.
Maxx, what makes you, you.
Do what I do.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for privilege.
Surgery. For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail without money. Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Hey, Miss Garrison, how's that for you?
How you doing, hon?
Oh, great, really great.
Paucity. Scarcity. Unions.
I'll never use that. Don't need it. It's too late now to learn much about me.
Self-narrative. Complete narrative as a companion, feeling, etc.
Women worldwide are in solidarity against their main husbands.
You want to buy a chihuahua? No, Miss Garrison.
Yes, there's trouble.
I found this in the storage shed. You can borrow it till you get yours fixed. When we got the color set, LaBelle said, "Get that old thing out of my house." We used to style now with an RCA plasma color TV set. Then he started saying, "The Jeffersons moving on."
We are cracking up sometimes. It's still working.
You're lucky to have it.
Mm-hmm.
You okay? I'm fine. Just trying to figure out my life. How's that going? Better than you think. Where'd you go this morning? I walked into town. Dr. Phil's book came out on paperback. So I took my safe change and I bought a copy. Then I went over to the Goodwill and I got that cute little wall thing for $1. And I stopped by the washing pole and called John David on the payphone there. And I listened to his message, hoping that I loved him. Zach read my book for a spell. Then I found an old newspaper that somebody left, and I read that too. I lost complete track of time. But, it's so good to get out of the house, Lasagna. I have decided that I need a purpose. There's a whole chapter about it in Dr. Phil's book.
Well,
You'll need a purpose that calls us, and it's all I show you. What? JD beat the shit out of you, and you making that mistake, and it ain't even third Wednesday of the month. You just pushed me on over. Mostly took down the dishes.
nothing I can't handle. Me. He came back, woke me up, and apologized good and proper. Thank you for the TV. But you can't leave it here. You're going to have to cart it back and forth. JD would not like you loading his TV. But thank you. Thank you so very much. Oh, you are just the best friend that anybody could ever hope to have. Isn't life great, lasagna? You've been living on a vanilla extract. No, I have just been reading Dr. Phil's book, and I have just decided to take his advice and find myself a purpose. I told you Dr. Phil was full of shit. The only reason he's anybody is how the... No, he is not. He is a saint. Where did he get you? I can't see what it's all a bitch hit you. Because he didn't hit me. I know he hit you. I heard you scream. Who did he hit you? I bet he hit you when nobody can see like that asshole used to do. Stop that! I told you he didn't hurt me. Mostly took it out on the dishes. Then why is there a big purple bruise on your leg? Oh, that's an old bruise that I got last week when I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. That ain't come no old bruise. Oh, I read in the paper where they are hiring part-timers over at the Value Village. No experience necessary. I'm thinking of applying. You what? I'm thinking of applying for a job at the Value Village. That would give me a purpose. You're always saying, well, Belle says it's such a great place to work. Ever since I lost my babies, I don't feel that I have a purpose. They were my purpose. John David left, then Melissa gone. Where's my purpose anymore? I don't have a purpose. And if I don't find a purpose, I'm going to shrivel and die. And Dr. Field says that we need a purpose, and he also says that what you believe you can achieve. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I'm going to get that job at the Value Village. I feel you. And I want you to find that purpose. But I heard y'all fighting and I knew the truth. Look at it. This is the lasagna I'm talking to. The big black friend next door with the big ears and the big mouth. And I heard what he said. I don't like you eavesdropping on us. You live in a trailer park. You think I want to hear your shit? I want to talk about this. Because you know lasagna is the truth. And you're lying about J.D. beating on you. He does not beat me. He just loses his temper sometimes and pushes me a little. He beat the shit out of you. You can try to get you again. Beat me. He just pushed me a little. That's what my sister always said. Lasagna, you are ruining my good day. You got a big purple bruise on your leg, just like my sister. Lasagna, I don't want to hear about your sister today, and that bruise is old. You don't want to hear about my sister. You act like you know my life, and you don't. You don't know what he was like. What he come from. His mean old daddy. What he made out of himself. He was the most. Oh God, lasagna. And he chose me. Me. Everybody wanted him. But he chose me. And when he come home last night, he loved on me. Hard. You don't know how that man can love. And he loved me. He never told me. He does love me. I do know that he loves me. And he makes me happy. And why are you looking for a purpose? I don't know. You just got me so riled up. Because I tell you the truth, baby. I tell you the truth. I am so mixed up right now. I get so confused and frustrated. I'm sorry. I know you're just trying to help. I'm sorry. I shouldn't lash out at you. And I am mad because I know you're right. I can't get that job at the Value Village. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking maybe I could find myself a purpose. And I am not happy. I am miserable. Oh God. I hate him. I know it's not right to hate. It's such a harsh word, but I can't help it. Oh, but I love him. Then I hate him. I love him and then I hate him. I love him and I hate him. Well, there, I said it. I told you the truth. I already know what you think. You don't even have to tell me. And you never have to lie to your buddy. Your old pal is on. Did you ever say it too? Yes, thank you. Sometimes I hate you more than I hate you. And I get so confused. So confused. And lately, I've been having these terrible thoughts. Fantasies. Fantasies. What kind of fantasies? Girl, come over and tell me about these fantasies. I want to pulverize him. Pulver what? Pulverize. That's your new word for the day. Yesterday's. Today's was solidarity. Pulverize means to grind into powder. You know how the pioneers used to grind wheat and make flour? Ever since I'm on I've been having fantasies of JD being ground into powder. How you gonna ground him? Well, I don't know. I ain't got that far in my fantasy. But I do know. I wish I could just put it in the palm of my hand. Oh, anyway. I should stop all these thoughts and make supper. Sit your ass back down. Sit down. It's a good thought. Wonderful, man. Maybe this could be your purpose. Maybe you could kill it somehow. Feed it, drain cleaner, bug spray, cover them with a red pipe, and then chop them up and put them in the freezer. And put the frozen parts in one of them tree shredding machines, like that man did up in Minnesota, or one of the North Coast states that his wife. It was on 60 Minutes. It was a deep one. Anyway, when the snow melted, they found itty bitty pieces of head shit, DNA, just like in the OJ trial. And when they tested it, they determined it was her. The wife. On Fry's ass too. He on death row now. See, his mistake was he should have backed that tree trim sheet and killed him. Then his wife's pieces would have got eaten up by the little fishes, and he would have walked away scot-free. The dumb shit didn't think it. My girl! I thought we put our minds to it. You grab them on that. Oh, we're going to hell.
Election season is here. Remember, who you vote for is secret, but whether you vote is public information. Your friends, family, and neighbors can look up your voting record. This year, whether by mail, early, or on November 5th, be sure to make a plan to vote. And after the election, your voting record will be updated based on your participation on November 5th. So vote on or by November 5th.
I used to think there was just one FICO score. When I applied for a loan, it would have helped to have known my specific score.
There's more than one FICO score. Lenders may use different versions depending on the kind of credit. It's important you get the right score for your goal.
With my FICO, I can access my FICO scores, including the scores that lenders use for credit card, auto, and mortgage loans.
Get started for free at myfico.com/free or download the MyFICO app.
Beauty brings joy. Joy we all deserve. Because beauty is about possibilities. And only Ulta Beauty invites you to explore them all. Here, beauty is your playground, where you can find exactly what you need. And discover something you never knew you needed. From splurge-worthy inventions to your favorites that are priced to play. And everything in between. Find all the brands you can't live without and the ones you're dying to try. Beauty is for all. The joy of all things beauty, all in one place.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery. For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail without one. Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Well, who in the world?
It's not 17. Oh, with my empty Pyrex dish.
Hello, Eileen, come on in. I just run back to the beach. That cherry delight was delightful. Well, back to you. But it's a cherry top delight. It's my Aunt Linda's recipe. It's my husband's favorite dessert. In fact, I am making some for him tonight. Well, it was just delightful and delicious. And I can just kill you. I can feel my ass grow with every fucking bite. Well, you look like you could stand to put on a few gas, man. You got a darling little figure. Thank you. I guess I keep in good shape because I'm on my feet a lot. You know, with my job, running around trying to please drugs. That's my entire workout routine. I keep my arms toned by smoking. I switch arms every other cigarette so one arm doesn't get bigger than the other. I figure if I'm going to catch danger from smoking, I'll get some benefits out of it. You are funny. I needed a good laugh. Oh, I'm sorry. This is my friend Lasagna. I don't believe y'all met. Hi, I've seen you around. Lasagna. Oh, interesting. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Well, I see you all dressed well up hot too. Well, should I say undressed? Well, yes. Oh, fuck yeah. This fucking heat is fucking evil. Indeed it is. I better get home and tune it out like the do this. So I can get on that fucking internet and do all the research on my